Welcome to Kidmin Backstage, the place where we talk about kids ministry and take a peek behind the scenes. We try to share a little bit of what we've learned that works for us and some of our failures so you can avoid them. We release a new episode every Friday, and this is your backstage pass to see the magic or disaster that happens behind the scenes of our kids ministry. I'm your host, Gabe Baker, and today I'm joined by Brother Myles. How's it going?
It's going good, and Happy New Year to all our listeners and watchers out there, wherever you're tuning in from.
Yes, into it. Hopefully you're still tackling those resolutions, right?
Yeah. If not, it's not too late. Let's jump back on it again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. All right, well, so what are we talking about today?
We are talking about ready when called.
Ready when called. And so, ironically, you didn't have much notice on this.
No,
I asked
not too
if
much.
you could be here, I don't know, a few hours ago.
Just a few, yeah.
And you were ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was great. Yeah, but the kind of the premise is that Sunday school doesn't run on talent alone. Mm-hmm. And we do have a lot of talented people, but it runs on availability. Mm-hmm. And so great leaders understand that ministry moments don't always come with notice. They don't always have notice. And so the Bible talks about being instant in season and out of season. A lot of times, we're thinking of preachers. But in Sunday school leadership, I wrote down that means two things. One, being willing to serve wherever you're needed, willing to do whatever's needed. And then two, preparing ourselves so that we're actually capable when that moment comes.
Yeah. When you saw this, it made me think of something I heard Actually, I listened to it on a CD a while back. It was
you're
message.
dating yourself. CD.
Yeah, CD. It was from West Coast Conference, and I feel like this message was extremely popular, but the title of the message was "It Happened on the Way to Church." And the whole premise of the message was it talked about Paul and Silas with the blind man, and he said "on the way to church," talking about how
Peter and John.
Yeah, Peter and John.
Yeah, yes.
And how they had to be prepared before they even made it to the church house, because if they were waiting to get ready, as soon as they went to that pre-service prayer moment, they would completely miss that opportunity of God working through them.
Well, and you think about it, it would seem to make more sense, like on the way home from church.
Yes.
That's when that should have happened, after
an awesome Holy Ghost
altar call.
Yeah, Holy Ghost filled service and all that, but no, it talked
about
about being prepared on the way to church.
On the way to church. Oh, wow. Well, a quick aside comment, just talking about dating ourselves. I remember when that conference was called PSR.
Yeah,
do you remember that? Or
I wasn't around. I didn't go to it. I was probably only very young.
Yeah.
But no, I do remember when it was West Coast Conference, and I remember that was like the very first conference that I went to once my family got back in church, and I was like, my eyes were big. I'm like, what in the world is this going on? Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? You got to show up 45 minutes before prayer to get a seat. Yeah. Like,
Isn't that funny?
What are you talking? What? 2 preachers in the morning? What are you guys talking about?
Can we bring snacks?
Yeah. So I was only I think I was 11 or 12 at the time. So
oh wow,
it was pretty big. It was a pretty big thing. It was the first conference, and then of course I went to some other youth conferences. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I'm a little more prepared now.
That's funny. Oh man, yeah. Well, okay, so I wrote a note here. This is kind of a statement, I guess, but availability is a leadership decision.
Yeah.
And so I put the leaders don't wait to be asked; they choose to be ready.
Yeah.
I think that. This goes for in the business world too. I always used to in school when I ran the school here, I talked about there's 3 types of good employees. There's the good employee that is you give them a job to do and it's going to get done.
Yeah.
They go and they do it and they get it done. And then that's the good employee. The better employee is the one that you give them a job to do, they get it done, they come up to you and they're like, okay, that's done. I'm ready for the next job, the next task. And that's great. You're like, wow. But the best employee is the one that you're looking around, where are they at? Oh, they have already completed 3 of the tasks, that you haven't even told them.
Or they saw something that needed to be done.
Yes.
And they just completed it without you even having to ask or say something. They coming up to you like, hey, I've been doing X, Y, Z, and But don't worry, it's all taken care of.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Yep.
Mark it off your to-do list.
Yeah. And so those are the best kind of employees. And so I think that this availability and leadership is kind of like that in a way, is like just we're choosing to be available and not just asking, okay, put me in, coach, or whatever,
Yeah.
but also just being there and seeing a need.
Yeah.
And feeling that need,
And sometimes that's the hardest thing, at least especially for me. I've always struggled with seeing that need. I've always had that willingness to do, but my biggest difficulty that I've had to overcome is seeing, okay, there's a need right there.
Right.
But as I've grown and been around and done more and more, I'm like, okay, I've been able to fulfill those and be able to surpass that learning curve.
Yeah, and do you think, like in your job, you're in leadership in your work, and it's fairly recent, the leadership position, and do you think that helps, like, because you see the other side of it, like you see what the person that was above you was, what they were asking or what they were looking for?
Yeah, and it also has definitely curtailed, it's kind of like definitely influenced me as far as my leadership style.
Yeah.
I like to kind of, when I'm asking guys to do stuff, I kind of like to give them an open-ended, as long as point A, B, and C are met. I don't care how you reach point A, B, and C, as long as they're done, because I'm not the one physically having to go do the work or get all the material or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I've kind of
you're not micromanaging.
I'm not micromanaging. I'm kind of giving them free reign to do that. And I've seen how in some people it has made all the difference. Like they're so happy to come work. And I've also seen, on the other hand, where there's been some people that I now need to micromanage because they can't handle all that freedom. They can't handle all that freedom and all that looseness that some other people can handle.
Yeah. Well, and I think that kind of plays into a little bit of what we're talking about here, is that availability or seeing that need is when you understand the big picture, it's a lot easier to have that open-endedness or that looseness. But when you only understand, when you're looking at the task right in front of you, and not because it doesn't mean that you're lazy or whatever. I mean, sometimes it does, but it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's lazy. They might just not see the whole vision. Yeah, they don't see the whole picture, 100%. And they only see that they're, doing this task.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that story? It's an old story about somebody asks, like, these different people. They're all working on this building, and I'm going to get this so wrong, but they ask the bricklayer, what are you working on or whatever? And he's like, well, I'm building this wall and of bricks or whatever. And then they ask somebody else, carpenter or whatever, what are you doing? Well, I'm building this room or something. And they ask, like, again, I'm sure I'm butchering this, but it's something like this. They ask, like, the janitor or somebody cleaning up, what are you working on? He's like, we're building this high rise.
Yeah. He was the one that saw the big picture of everything that was going on.
Yeah. Sees the big picture and everything.
Sometimes we can get so pinpoint and we can put those blinders on that sometimes we forget the big picture of what needs to take place and what needs to happen.
And I've been there.
No. 100%.
I remember one time, a long time ago, I was a kid running around here, and we were doing some kind of construction work around the church, as we often do. And there was this old saint, and he's passed on, but he was an electrician.
Okay. Did
a lot of the electrical here back in the day. And I remember him making a statement. I think that he had asked me to go get something, and I had went to go get it, and whoever I went to get it from said they were using it or something, like a ladder or whatever. You know? And I remember him saying, he said, everybody's job is the most important to them. Mm-hmm. He said, and I don't think he elaborated a whole lot, but I just remember thinking, that's so true.
100%.
When I'm going to get that ladder, I'm like, hey, this is my job. I'm supposed to get this ladder, but the guy using it is like, well, my job is more important. I'm using the ladder. And so when we can step back and we see that big picture,
I can move out of the way so this bigger thing can take place.
Yes. Yeah. And this translates into Sunday school like segments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have, I'll tell a story. I've told it before, but a long time ago, several years ago, Brother Philip Booker was here,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing a lesson. I think he had just done a couple object lessons or something. He was doing a lesson, and in his talk, he started talking about his mom, and his mom had gotten really sick, and I think they actually thought she was going to die.
Yeah, I remember hearing that for a while.
And so he was talking about it, and the whole room shifted.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, let's go to altar.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so I put on the screen. He didn't see it right away because he wasn't used to at the time all the screens we have, but I put it on the stage screen, and finally got his attention. He looked at it, and then he did basically altar call right
Mm-hmm.
there. But that's kind of an example of, like, we had other things lined up.
Yeah.
You know, some kind of funny segment or cool segment,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But when you understand the big picture and the true mission,
Yeah.
then it's easy to, like, you know what, I don't have to do my object lesson.
Yeah.
I spent all week preparing it.
Mm-hmm.
I went and bought the stuff, but this is more important. What is
Yeah.
the whole point?
The whole purpose, the whole thing is that we make an opportunity for these kids to pray, that they can
Yes.
they can be able to receive the Holy Ghost ultimately.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I don't know. We kind of maybe got off topic a little bit, but I think it plays in well. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, being available. But the other thing with availability and with kind of all this whole thing that we're talking about, and I think the big picture is actually a good foundation for this being available. When we are looking at, like I put, you know, the attitude, I can help anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
that strengthens the whole team. It
Yeah.
removes pressure from others. When we have that attitude, when we see the big picture and we're like, you know what, I'll help anywhere because we're all the same team.
Yes.
And this is all the mission going forward. And so, yeah, maybe I don't do sound effects at all, but man, I'll jump in and help. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, it's been a long time, and I know Spacebar. That's about it. That's all I remember is
It's a
Spacebar.
Spacebar.
That's all I remember from. I think we trained me a couple times, and that was about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of did that with Krista too. We need to have some more people go through it, do it again and learn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, actually, I just mentioned Krista's name, but when Krista started, oftentimes, you know, we do kind of have this very loose rule that you're going to do whatever is asked of you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I also try to put people in their strengths, and so
Yeah.
I remember asking her. She wanted to be a part of Sunday school, and she had asked me for a while, and so so I put her on the list, talked to Pastor about it and everything. So anyway, she came in, and I said, "So what? You know, is there a certain area? Like, do you want to sing? Because she sings in church. Do you want to do some acting? Are you looking to help Nisha with wardrobe, whatever?" And she was like, "I will do whatever is needed. I will do whatever you want me to do, any position. I just want to help."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I can work with that.
Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah. And so I talk about it sometimes, but she's my experiment.
Okay.
And so we haven't focused on it past few months really hard, but that's why I started her, was sitting with Adrian and then she actually ran QLab, our sound effects software, for at least one Sunday school, maybe two. And then she shadowed Anisha a few times, and then even ran wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's done acting. In fact, our last theme, she was a major character.
Yeah, she was.
And she's done very well. And then, of course, she's a facilitator and staff, you know, stuff. But anyway, that's one of the things is she's like, I'm available to help wherever you need. And that's the other thing, our next note, availability communicates humility. There are some people that, going back to the talent dilemma, you know, there's some people that are very talented, and I'm not thinking of anybody necessarily in our church, but there are people that are really talented that just can't be used because it's like it's beneath them or something. You know what I mean? Like
100%. Yeah, I have unfortunately ran into those situations. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so they're great. They're a great singer or something. Yeah. But then you want them to, help in the back with costumes. Well, it's beneath them. And they might not ever even say that, but you're just going to tell, and they're going to be like acting like they don't want to be, a part of it. So, yeah, I think that being humble and having that availability and humility, like, hey, I'll clean the toilets. Yeah. Kind of that humility. Those people actually usually are the ones that get the spotlight eventually. I have found that because they're willing, and like the pastor who is, the leader of the church, I mean, God's the leader, but pastor's leading the church, they recognize that. And they see that, and it's not even a matter of like, oh, I'll reward you. It's a matter of what does the Bible say? Something about you do things in secret, I reward thee openly. Yeah,
and also while you're saying that, was the whole thing of be faithful in a few things.
Yes,
and I'll make you
a small thing, a ruler of many.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but I think it's not even just like a quote-unquote reward, although maybe it is God rewarding us, but I also think it's just like a natural progression because it's when you, I'll use Bob, a name, just a random name. When you turn around and Bob is right there, he's available. And you're like, Bob, can you help me, build this set? Yeah. Yes, I'll be there. And you turn around, Bob, oh, he's cleaning the toilets. Turn around, oh, Bob, can you, yep, I'm there. And then pretty soon it's like, man, we need this major player on stage. Where's Bob?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that, I think that's a natural progression of how things can happen. Okay, now let's talk about the other side of this. And that is preparation. Preparation makes availability effective.
Yes.
So willingness without preparation, it limits the impact.
Absolutely.
I was just talking to somebody, and it might have been my brother. I can't remember, but I was talking to somebody, and I said the saying, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare.
Exactly.
And so
100% true.
Yes, and so you have to be preparing. And there's a lot of times, there are many people that want to help. And I'll just use some of what I know. And so, like, we'll get ready to build a set.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get people that want to help, and they're like, hey, Brother Baker, I'm ready anytime you need help. And I get there's a couple of people I'm thinking of in particular that they every time, and I'm thankful for it. I'm glad for it. Yeah. But they can't do a whole lot. They can clean up, maybe they can paint or something. But a lot, the sets we build are often slides and different things. So you got to know how to use a saw and a screw gun and so it's hard sometimes because I've had it where we'll have like 20 people up here, and it's great. It's fun, having all those people. But it's like I'm looking around. I'm like, where's somebody like yourself that knows how to have some tool bags, or where's Brother Kyle or whoever, just different ones. I'm like, where are they at? Because I need them to
that are
actually do something
mechanically inclined.
Yeah, have some know-how, and so they're qualified. And so I think that this is actually probably even more so in the church, in the church world than the business world. You have this in the business world too. But I think in the church you have this a lot more. I'm not saying that the church is full of unqualified people, but I'm just saying that you have this more because it's a volunteer basis.
Yes.
And so you get a lot of people that they're willing, but they don't have the skill set. Yeah. At least not yet, And we all know that it takes so much more time to develop somebody, and so that's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. But it's easier to just do it yourself sometimes. Yeah. But anyway, so preparation turns good intentions into real help, And I think kind of along with, like, we should always be preparing ourselves and getting better and being, ready when called, like the instant in season, out of season.
Yeah.
Kind of means like you have something on your heart or whatever, you're always thinking about stuff. And so I think in the same way, we should be preparing ourselves and bettering ourselves. And I see this as sometimes like in some of our young men. We have our church values strong work ethic.
Yeah.
And so sometimes our young men, it starts out like, man, they can't do anything. They're worthless, when it comes to doing some work around the church.
Yeah.
But then like a year later, it's like you ask them again, and man, they grab a drill and they go to town. It's
they know to put it in the forward position, not the reverse.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, they've grown some.
I can laugh because I remember being there. That's why I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Why won't it go in? It's because I was pushing as hard as I could, but in the reverse position.
Man,
going backwards.
There's a lesson in that.
Yeah, there
all
is.
that effort, and you're just going backwards. That's funny. Yeah, and so I think that like wanting to help is good, but when you are trained, you're informed, you're spiritually grounded, that makes that help so much more valuable. And it has such a bigger impact.
Yeah, it gives it such more. It's like an exponent, so much.
Exponential.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Because, and I'm always grateful for people that are willing to help. But when you get somebody that is willing to help, that can make a difference. This is why we say, the saying, like, if you want to get something done, go find somebody that's busy.
that's so good. I like that.
And because the people that are not busy and have time to help, there's a reason why.
There's a reason why they're not busy.
Yeah. And then those that are busy, it's because they're getting stuff done. And so if you can somehow capture a little bit of their time, they're going to get your thing done too.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, and so the next point I put here is leaders, they grow their skill set on purpose. And so in Sunday school, when we are, if you're the leader, you're looking for these people. But even if you're not, this podcast is kind of focused at leaders. But even if you're not that leader, or even if you are, and we're talking about towards your pastor, that relationship, leaders should focus on growing their skill on purpose.
Yes.
Getting better at, the sound effects, acting, and all that. But like even like some of the things like praying with kids, praying kids through, getting better at it and developing the skill set and actually thinking about it and taking a look at it and not just doing the same thing that didn't work before and just not growing,
Absolutely. I remember I had a conversation with Pastor. It was a couple of years ago. And he gave me, after the conversation, he told me, he's like, okay, I want you to read this book. And it was John C. Maxwell. It was, I don't even remember the title, but it was the whole premise of the book. It was purposely developing that mindset of you're always looking and you're always trying to grow.
Yes.
Like if you're not
probably developing the leader within you.
Yeah, if you're not intentionally growing, you've made a mistake somewhere somehow. And it's something that's always kind of stuck with me. I'm like, okay, this week, how am I intentionally growing in these areas that I want to grow in? And have I laxed off? Okay, I've hit a brick wall. Where can I find another area that I can, in some way, somehow, learn to grow? And even those that are listening right now, this is a perfect example of you're finding a way to kind of grow. You're kind of getting some different ideas to add or try this and try that because the fact of the matter is something can work in one area, but it won't work in another area.
Yes.
But you can take half of this idea. Half of the idea works perfectly.
Yeah, and I can use it over here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so true. And in this, in every time January rolls around, it's kind of a good time for us to reevaluate and say, okay, I need to develop myself. I need to be moving forward, because if naturally things that sit, they deteriorate.
Yes.
And so if we're not doing that forward motion, if we're not moving forward, then we're becoming stagnant. And really, that's the point you backslide.
Exactly.
And I don't even necessarily mean like leaving the church, but that's where you start to go backwards if you're not growing, because you're moving. You're going to move forward
or backwards. There's no still.
Yeah, there's no just staying in the middle. And so I put great leaders multiply their readiness. The goal isn't just to do more; it's to be ready for more. And so this is just kind of like taking this, I guess, the next step, and this is specifically for leaders, is taking this to the next step. Yes, we need to develop ourselves. We need to grow ourselves. But then we need to take the time, like what I said earlier, it's so much easier sometimes to just do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you take the time, if you think about like QLab, I'll just use that for an example. So QLab is the software we use for our sound effects and soundtracks, which we use extensively. We have soundtracks playing basically 100% of the time in Sunday school. So when I can go in there and pretty quickly set up a show. I can go in and I can set the tracks. I can do. It can be complex, but what we do in Sunday school is not super complex. But I can set, there's different things called auto continue and these crossfades and and I can do a lot of that pretty quick. But then if I go and I show somebody how to do it, I'm like, let me show you how to set up this auto fade, and let me show you how to crossfade this piece, and let me show you how to. And let me show you how this file is structured and how to pull it in, how to name it, all these things. Well, my goodness, I just tripled the time that it takes. But you have to build that in.
Yeah, you do.
As a leader, you have to build that time in, because otherwise you cap yourself. You put a lid on how far you can go.
Yes.
Because you can't. It's kind of like the whole teamwork thing we've talked about before. If your vision is small enough for you to do it by yourself, it's too small.
Ooh, that's good. I like that one.
Yeah, if you can do Sunday school and where you're going with Sunday school, if you can do all that by yourself, then your vision's too small.
Yeah.
You need a bigger vision. You need a vision that's big enough to where you're like, okay, I got to have some help.
Yeah.
And so then with that help, we would like to say, okay, I need some help. And you start looking at, the platform in church. You start looking at, I want the drummer. I want him to play the drums in our church. That's not how it works.
No.
That's not how it works. You have to develop that help. And now we're blessed. We have a lot of talented people. But you have to work and develop those people to really accomplish the vision.
Exactly.
To cross-train them.
100%.
And so then the next thing, as we kind of wrap this up, talking about when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare, is that readiness factor. When we are ready and when we're operating, like we should have a habit, and we can do a lot better on this in our Sunday school. But if we have a habit of operating on the cutting edge, if we have a habit of always being a well-oiled machine, everything backstage, like it's kind of a mess now because of the events and stuff, but everything backstage being clean and pristine and operating, like a finely tuned machine. Everything, all of our segments being well rehearsed and going well. When we have a habit of operating like that, and so we're always at the cutting edge, always on top of our game, then I think that when that opportunity comes, we're ready for it and we're prepared for it.
You can just step right into it.
You could step right into it. But also, I think that that's when God blesses. Because I think that God isn't going to, like, he might see us doing efforts and stuff, but, it's like you don't put $1 in a broken vending machine. If a vending machine has an out of order sign, you don't put $1 in it.
Exactly.
And so if we're operating, or like, okay, in fact, I don't even know where this came from, but we had a soda machine here one time that it operated half the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you would put your money in, and sometimes it just wouldn't give you. You had to go find Brother Phil. Hey, Brother Phil, it didn't. Give me a soda. It's such a hassle. He'd come around. Most of the time, I just didn't even say anything because it was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
He had to come around with his key, open it up.
Yeah.
And so, when it's like that, God's not going to invest in that. It's like, okay, yeah, you're firing, but not on all cylinders. It's you're kind of moving down the road, but it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, God can bless the mess, but how much more can God bless when everything's set up in a right order, right way? And then also, like, if it's a mess, like, are you truly giving your best?
Right.
Because I feel like when we give our best, that's when God truly blesses.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think when we're focused and we say, okay, even if it's just for that hour on Sunday, we're going to give it everything we got. And there's a lot more that goes into that, the preparation beforehand and all that. But on that Sunday, we're going to give it everything we've got. We're not just going to haphazardly go through it. Then God sees that, and He blesses the efforts. And then it could set the atmosphere. We always talk about everything points to the altar call. When we're on top of it and everything is flowing like it should, then it's just natural that altar call, natural in a spiritual sense, that altar call is going to go well.
Yes.
And everything, because everything that we do, all the silliness, all the fun, all the acting, everything that we do, it's to engage the kids so that they're ready. And so then they get there to that altar call. Whereas the flip side of it, if we're half-hearted, just waiting for it to get over with, kind of sloppily going through our segments, not engaging the kids, we get to altar call, that's half-hearted, sloppy, waiting for it to get over with, watching the timer.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things we have a rule. It has to go for at least the time.
Yeah.
And so, then we get lazy, and
yeah.
Who's going to bless that?
I had a thought and it ran away, so it must not have been too important.
That's what my aunt used to always say. Well, it must not have been important.
Okay, so what I remembered was about the laughing. It takes, if you can get somebody to laugh, you can turn it that way in the exact same serious way, and you can also get them to cry.
Oh yeah,
they've done studies and stuff about it too. So like, being silly is awesome and amazing, but like also like turning out to that flip side. Okay, now we got to turn that silliness off.
Yeah.
And now let's focus and let's be serious and let's.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you realize this, but I love to be that goofy dunce character.
Yeah.
I have really enjoyed doing that.
Everybody in Sunday school likes it, and then
it's not always.
It's hard to turn it off.
It's hard to turn it off sometimes, and be that more serious character.
Yeah. All right. Well, my timer is going off because we have other places to be, so I think that's a wrap.
All right. Until next time.